The COVID-19 pandemic has affected many things in our lives, especially our families. My family was looking forward to things before the lockdown started in March last year.
Well, I wasn't able to work anymore. I'm a substitute teacher, and so all my jobs were canceled because schools closed and there wasn't a need. So that also, obviously, the financial impact was not what I was expecting.
I think, well, really looking forward to taking a vacation, uh, visiting different state, which became impossible. And of course, that state also was a hotbed for coronavirus, so it wasn't safe at all to do. So it was very disappointing.
I was looking forward to going on a cruise. We had a cruise planned to leave during spring break, and so obviously that got canceled, and I'm disappointed.
I was in school and I was about to start flag football.
And wasn't able to see my kids finish out their school year. Yeah, so we missed all of the end of the year activities that we usually get to participate in and watch, like the band performances and things like that.
Only other stuff that's really affected was like, going out to restaurants and doing stuff like that, but that's okay. We're over it.
The lockdown affected how we could communicate with our friends and family.
I'm an introverted person, and so initially it was actually kind of freeing for me to not have so many obligations, my schedule wasn't full anymore, and I was able to just kind of be at home and recharge with my family, with my immediate family, my husband and 2 kids.
Yeah, I didn't hang out that much with a bunch of different people that weren't family anyway. Most of them I see at work. So really, it didn't really affect many of those relationships. Although I would have liked it better if it was open up and I were able to do things.
I miss my friends. I miss being with my friends. We, utilized FaceTime and those types of things. But yeah, I'm ready to see my family and friends in person.
We just talk online instead of in person.
The pandemic and lockdown changed a lot of our schedules.
I do, miss going out occasionally to restaurants or wherever that we can't do.
Yeah, because school starts later and it's harder to keep a consistent schedule because it feels like summer. I don't know. It doesn't feel like actual school.
My schedule changed, yes, because I go into work earlier now. Not necessarily because of the pandemic. But I do like going in earlier and leaving earlier from work, so that was actually helpful.
It's a little ironic that I went from pre-pandemic being a part-time substitute teacher, and, obviously a full-time mom, spending most of my time at home. Once the school year began, it kind of flipped. So it went from everyone being away during the day to my kids being at home and I'm away because now I work teaching distance learning, but on campus. So I'm on campus in the classroom away from home while it's reversed.
Members of my family were affected differently by the pandemic.
Yeah, it is kind of awkward with those friends or coworkers who, for whatever reason, do not believe that there is actually a pandemic?
I went back to working full time, and it's been a huge adjustment. But the thing that's ironic is I'm, because of shelter in place and everything, even though I'm no longer home most of the time, I see less people.
I did flag football. I'm a more social person. And because it's easier in person, it's better to easier follow along and stuff.
Some of my work relationships are awkward now. There's still many people at my job that don't believe the pandemic is real, don't think it truly exists, and it's all like some made up thing.
I have less interaction in person than I did, being a full-time stay-at-home mom. It almost seems like that it would be the opposite. If I'm going back to work full-time, I would be around more people, but it's not, and it's kind of lonely.
With my job, I have to wear a mask at work for basically a minimum of 8 hours, sometimes up to 16 hours if I have to work overtime. Not a big deal wearing the mask, but of course it's uncomfortable to have to do that every day for that long.
Even though this time has been hard for all of us, there are still some things that we can be grateful for.
It's made me appreciate each day with my family more. There's always, you kind of have to, I feel like you kind of have to take the good with the bad. And so, unfortunately, we've seen a lot of people suffer. Thankfully, no one in our immediate family has lost their life.
I'm a type of person who tries to go with the flow, whatever that flow may be. Roll with the punches, whatever. So I'm okay.
Nothing positive came out of the pandemic. Like everything positive that happened was unrelated to the pandemic. Like Christmas is cool, but that's unrelated. Christmas is gonna happen no matter what. That doesn't have anything to do with the pandemic.
Hope the pandemic doesn't have long-term, long-lasting effects on the community at large, because I'd still like to go into that community.
So overall, it's I see it as an opportunity to count my blessings and just to be more appreciative of the time that I have with the people that I love.
Everything has changed over the past year, but not all change has been bad. For James Logan High School in Union City, California, this is Joycelyn Jackson reporting for Logan TV.